meet the starting 11 for your Indy 11. In goal, 28, Yannick Hero. Number 4, Vijek Jerome. Number 6, Cam Ridley. Number 7, Sebastian Velasquez. Number 14, Aiden Quinn. Number 20, Solomon Asante. Number 23, Eunice Bujani. 29, Stefano Pino. Number 42, Douglas Martinez. 44, Macaulay King. And the captain, wearing 13, Sebastian Quetzali. The head coach of Indy 11 is Mark Lowry. The Indy 11 assistant coaches are Ayose and James Zaponi. The goalkeeper coach is Andy Swift. The head athletic trainer for Indy 11, Josh Franco. The team doctor, Dr. Ashley Warren.
It has already been a successful Saturday for the Indy 11 in downtown Indy. The Indy 11 women secured the W League Championship here at the mic just 2 hours ago. Tonight, the men try to take down a longtime rival for the first time in this building since 2015. With that, we welcome you to Indy 11 Soccer tonight on WRTV as well as ESPN Plus alongside Brad Hunter. My name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. Tampa Bay, always a tough team. More on them throughout the course of the broadcast, but we focus on the Indy 11, and seemingly, Brad, a constant theme for Mark Lowry's team is Who's playing in front of Yannick Ertl tonight? Because it has been a rotation of injuries and suspensions. Tonight it is both. Let's start with those suspensions. Robbie Dambrot, the latest on the hit parade, if you will. He picked up 2 quick yellows in the last match against Charleston. He'll be seated for tonight's match along with Adrian Dispay. This dates back to an issue against FC Tulsa 2 weeks ago.
You talk about that revolving door in the back. It is so difficult as a technical, tactical staff to put together game plans when you constantly have to change the pieces.
And now Jesus Vasquez and Brian Rebillon, they are out with injury. Jack Blake is out due to illness. And so really it's kind of last man standing at the back for the Indy 11. In fact, they made a move to acquire Callum Chapman-Page from Miami FC that was announced yesterday. Callum got to town yesterday afternoon. He is in the 18 tonight. Our injury report is brought to us by our friends at Community Health Network Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. Well, exceptional this year for the Indy 11 has been Aiden Quinn. Tonight could be a monumental night for him. He could become the all-time leader in minutes played in the USL Championship. When these two teams played in the season opener on March 11th, it was a sign of things to come. The first of 6 penalties converted by Aiden this year in a 1-1 draw in an always tough place to play in St. Petersburg.
It is. It's a tough place to play. Always a great team in Tampa Bay, but so iconic. This is one of the storied franchises in North America.
The magic number for Aiden is 72 minutes. The magic number for the Indy 11 is in 3. Can they get all 3 points tonight? We'll talk more about the Rowdies with our starting lineups when we come back to Carroll Stadium.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Lock in your rate with pre-approval. It's fast, free, and makes buying the car of your dreams easier. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Let's get right to it. Starting lineups of tonight's match presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Again for the Indy 11, another change in formation. It is simply bodies available. A 3-4-3. Solomon Asante goes back into the starting 11. And again, Aiden Quinn, if he plays into the 72nd minute, he will become the all-time league leader in minutes played, surpassing Taylor Mueller. On the flip side, for Stuart Dobson's squad, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, J.J. Williams will be their lone striker up top. Cal Jennings, who was on the Indy 11 roster but never played a game for the Indy 11, he's their leading goal scorer with 8. He'll come off the bench in tonight's action.
Yeah, so while Williams is up there alone, you look at Delgard and Dennis, they'll be pushing those wings pretty high.
Jan Ekra Lucky M. Cosana, Ariel Martinez. There's a whole lot of experience off the bench. And that gentleman just happens to have played college soccer for my broadcast partner in Brad Hodder. That is Greg Dopka. If you wonder about the playing background of our officials, tell us about him as a player at Rose-Hulman.
Unbelievable. A fantastic tactical player. I mean, he not only was athletic and fast, he had some fire in that kid too, but man, could he understand the game.
Well, clearly he has picked the right avocation.
Absolutely.
Because we've seen him multiple times be our man in the middle. And we thank you for joining us on what is a championship Saturday for the Indy 11 women. The men hope to follow suit with a win tonight against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Again, a team that they have been playing since the middle of April of 2014. Thank you for joining us tonight on WRTV, Channel 6. And, of course, around North America on ESPN+. And let's just do this out of the way as it passes midnight in Great Britain. Hello, Tom Cunniff, watching on YouTube.
Hey, Tom.
Over in the UK.
You know, usually you save that so that he's got something to look forward to and he can stay awake.
Buddy, I have been on for 120 minutes of soccer already today. We're going to get some things, you know, out of the box early in case I have to, you know, call to the bullpen for somebody. Macaulay King will spray this one forward. Connor Sparrow hustles out. Sparrow, we saw him in Miami each of the last couple of years. He actually did not play when these two teams played in the season opener. That was Phil Brino that was in net for the 1-1 draw at Al Lang Stadium back on March the 11th. And a throw-in coming for the Indy 11. Stuart Dobson. Again, Neil Collins, now the head coach at Barnsley in League One. Stuart has been a long-time assistant. That's kind of the only question mark about this Tampa Bay team right now. And again, don't want to draw too many conclusions to a 1-0 loss against a good Birmingham squad. But when you make a change, even for the right reasons, what does this mean for the Rowdies going forward?
Well, you got a veteran team. You take a look at some of these guys have been on the roster 3, 4, 5 years. And the other thing, too, is you rely on Stuart Dobson's experience. He's been around forever in the pro game. This is nothing new to him. And so when he's been a part of what Tampa Bay's been doing through their training sessions, through their tactics, he gets it. And they've been successful. So you come in, you don't change much, and you just add a little bit of your personality into it, and you keep winning.
So while Macaulay King looks to build from back, let's get to our keys this match. They are brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Brad, the floor is yours.
We've talked about this before. The 11 plays such a great game. They play a great 89 minutes and 50 seconds, and there's one crazy individual error or something that just leads to chaos and an opportunity.
How about Sebastian Guenzati, an opportunity against his old squad? Good quick build-up by the Indy 11. He missed. Please continue.
Yeah, so you want to stay clicked in for the full 90 minutes, and then aggressive in isolation. There's such talent and such pace in the front of Indy 11 when they got a defender isolated, especially on the edge. Look to take him off the dribble before the cover tucks into place. For Tampa Bay, complicate the reads. We talked about how often the back line has changed with injuries and suspensions. So you got new guys playing next to each other. The more complicated you can make the decisions, the more success Tampa Bay is going to have, and then be explosive in transition. Again, you've got guys that haven't played next to each other for very long. New guys on the roster. The quicker you can get out in the transition and force them to have to make decisions, the better it's going to be for you.
Budati flying down the left flank. And Brad, I'm going to add a fifth key when the next moment allows. But right now, the Indy 11 are on the front foot. Sebastian Velasquez, his third match for the Indy 11, fourth of the season. A corner coming for Indy, so I'll insert it now while Indy gets ready for a Wilson Kehoe-Winningham corner kick. We were kind of tipped off about this earlier today, but when the format sheet, when the formation came out for the Indy 11 tonight, it showed a 3-4-3. They're actually playing four at the back. They have moved Douglas Martinez from playing up top on the right side to playing right back. Walk me through it.
Well, we saw it a lot in Molina as well, and you know, one of the things that it does, it gives you an attacking presence. So you put in the attacker's mind, you say, look, I need you to defend. This is your first priority. I need you to make sure you're jamming up this space.
Quinn sends it in. Velasquez looking to settle. Quinn will redirect from outside of the 18 at the edge of the 6. Got to head to it, but up and over the bar. That was Stefano Pino. He of the 13 goals a season ago. Back to the conversation about Mr. Martinez.
So when you sit your forward down, you say, look, I need you to defend. I need you to stay back a little bit. Right now, you get the priority of what needs to happen, but genetically, they're wired to go forward. So they'll just start drifting. They'll find opportunities to make a run forward and cause some chaos because they're coming from a position that normally doesn't attack the way a forward would.
And again, just to put it in perspective, no Brian Remignon, no Jesus Vasquez due to injury, no Jack Blake, who has played some right back this year due to illness, and suspensions for Adrian Deespe and Robbie Danbrot. They will get to play on Wednesday, and that's a big match for Robbie, having spent time at Duquesne, and again, giving him the chance to play against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in midweek. Here's kind of the way that things have built up for the Indy 11. And then they sent Gustavo Ricci to Miami FC yesterday in exchange for Callum Chapman-Page. And Brad, I know you did your homework on Mr. Chapman-Page, and you liked what you heard from his two college coaches.
Well, I like what I heard from the two college coaches, but I love the move. I've liked him since we first saw him. I can't remember if it was last year with Arteaga, but it was just a battle, and he just plays so physical, and it's such an aggressive style. There's such lunch pail, blue collar work to the way he defends. So I've been a fan of his since before this move, but I looked into his bio, and he played at Lubbock Christian, where one of my former players was the coach under him. Got nothing but great things to say about him. And then he played at PBA, where my son played.
Palm Beach Atlantic, for those that are not in the know, by the way.
In the know, yes, the Sailfish. And so I called his coach, and I said, tell me a little bit about him. He said, always a high level, held the rest of the players to a high level as well. His senior year, they gave up 3 goals in the entire season, led the nation in goals against.
At the NCAA Division II level. So welcome, Callum. Not sure if we will see him tonight.
And fun fact, another Palm Beach Atlantic Sailfish alum is Charlie Dennis. And those two are best friends, which is weird because they would go against each other in practice.
Asante heads up in the goat yoga area. Is that what flares up and over the bar? Is there one more potential Palm Beach Atlantic alumnus you'd like to mention?
My boy?
Yeah, your son.
My boy Christian.
After playing for you at DePaul University.
He said, I'm having enough of that.
Elected to wise up and find a better opportunity, and finished his degree at Palm Beach Atlantic in South Florida.
Oh, it was funny. He sat me down at a Mexican restaurant. Said, I got news for you. I want to transfer to this.
Is this our favorite Mexican restaurant in Marshall, Illinois?
Because it was in Greencastle.
All right, well, while we are having a joke, it's no laughing matter for Cam Lindley, who is currently down on the turf. And I'm not sure when this happened, how this happened, but Greg Dopka blew his whistle as the ball was in a neutral spot. And yeah, you worry about this being a bit of a non-contact injury. Although Cam Lindley may be the new Jared Timmer on the Indy 11. There's a lot of times he is in a prone position on the turf, and magically in 90 seconds, Cam pops right back up.
Well, he's just such a warrior. He always puts himself into the blender. It looked like he got stepped on the follow-through.
That's a rough thing to have happen. The match after you celebrate a birthday. Happy birthday, Cam Lindley. Pino a target. Velasquez giving former Indy 11 man Connor Antley fits. And then Velasquez commits the foul. So happy for Connor Antley. Connor was one of the 2 great kind of recruits that Martin Rennie brought in for 2020 that succeeded at League One. And in a sign that Martin knew had an eye for talent, those players are Nick Moon and Connor Antley, who have been the championship ever since. Connor now his 3rd year for the Rowdies, and Nick Moon enjoying his 2nd season for San Diego Loyal.
Not just that they've been in the championship for 3 years, but they've both been impactful starting players with good franchises.
Connor's a good man, too. Always enjoy catching up with him and wish him nothing but the best. Here's Quinn. Dayon Harris comes and provides a little pressure. Bit of a miscue here, opportunity here. Pino tries to slide it through. Could not find Sebastian Guenzati. Sports This match is brought to us by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. Harris knocks it forward for Jake Arman. Arman at the edge of the 18. Quinn got in the way. Arman scored the goal when these two teams played back on March the 11th in a 1-1 draw. Turf Monster plays a factor here. Sebastian Dalgard could not maintain possession. And a throw-in coming for the Indy 11. I see Doug Martinez Douglas last scored for the Indy 11 in the victory against Hartford Athletic some 4 weeks ago. That is his lone Indy 11 goal. Does have a pair of assists on the season. One of the many player moves that has been made since, say, the start of March. Indy in a playoff spot, but this has not been the season that Mark Lowry and company have anticipated.
Good little touch.
Guenzati has Asante flying forward to his right and hits him in stride. Asante's got 4 options to choose from. Plays it across looking for Quinn. Quinn lays it off. Guenzati couldn't get there in time. And now the flag goes up as Guenzati was in an offside position when the ball was sent his way.
Well, you said it on that one. Guenzati played Asante in stride. The last couple of matches, it's been, you know, and not from Guenzati, just in general, the ball's been at their feet or a little bit behind, and that's stopped that run, and that's stopped that aggressive first touch.
Those are 2 of the all-time greats in terms of this league, in Guenzati as well as Asante. Asante has been largely coming off the bench in most matches. Necessity is the mother of invention for tonight's match in terms of available bodies, but also knowing that you've got 3 and 8 days, and against the caliber of opponents in which you are playing, Asante's going to have to play more than 30 minutes a match over the course of the next 3. Going to Pittsburgh on Wednesday, and then at Lou City on Friday. What a move by Boudadi. Boudadi goes to turf. That will be card worthy, and that will be a free kick in a dangerous spot. So a yellow is shown here in minute number 12 to a member of the Rowdies.
Well, I tell you, in that last tackle, Macca King doesn't go into any 50-50 ball with anything but thinking, it's not a 50-50 ball. I want your 50, I want my 50, and I want the dash.
When Macca plays a ball like that, we take a look at the replay. Great move by Boudadi. Jake Armand, the guilty party in terms of the yellow.
Great touch. Great touch.
And while Indy has been exquisite in terms of drawing penalties and having Quinn convert them, they have not been great on set pieces nor corners this year. See if perhaps that can change here.
It's an awful long line that.
Well, he has a background.
I mean, look at.
He's got a background in engineering.
He
Brad.
does. That's like
He
might have gone through the entire can.
There's probably a protractor involved in there somewhere. Tonight's match brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction management, and investments. My colleague, the former women's and men's coach at Rose-Hulman and the longtime men's coach at DePaul University. Lindley awaits for the whistle. Looks like it'll be Cam in charge of sending it in. Plays it short to Quinn. Quinn redirects. Whatever that was in the training ground did not work the way the 11 had intended. Martinez got just enough of it, but nothing comes from it for the Indy 11 as Sparrow out to quickly recycle.
It was a great throw.
Fans, you can take the boys in blue with you wherever you go. Download the Indy 11 app on the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. Here's Velasquez.
Great ball.
Finds Boudadi. Boudadi looks to make the turn. Knocks it with the side of his boot. Couldn't get it through Charlie Dennis. Here's Dennis. That was clean when they got away with that ball further up the pitch. Dennis charging forward. Meshach Jerome. Jerome, the veteran that's played for Market now, El Paso, Jacksonville, and Indianapolis.
I like J.J. Williams as a target. I love when he comes back to the ball. He separates well from the back line, and then he's just got the vision to decide. You talked about it. He's 25 years old, but we've been calling his name for what seems like since we've been doing this over the last 10 years. Does a great job of separating from the back line, understands when he can turn, understands when he's got to play make.
Wilson Kehoe Winningham presents this corner kick. Sebastian Dalgard will take it. Dalgard, no goals, but 5 assists this season. Sends it in. Boudadi gets a boot to it. And this one will land somewhere near section 113. So throw in coming here for the Rowdies. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com. Second and final get-together of these teams this season. Advantage being played. All sent in. Jerome a touch. Asante further advances. And now Guenzotti against his old team. His 59 goals playing for the Rowdies. The second most goals by any player for any individual team in the history of the championship. Only Cam Lancaster's 71 and counting for Lou City has been more. And we sometimes offer the phrase a decleater. Literally, the shoe went flying off of Sebastian Velasquez. Aaron Guillen is shown a card. Guillen not happy about it. I guarantee you, Sebastian Velasquez not a fan of it either. Was that on Lasso that the card is going to be given
it
to?
was Lasso.
My apologies, it's Forrest Lasso.
Freight train coming at you.
Well, they don't make him the size of Forrest Lasso very often. Lasso at 6'6", and simply put, he is one of the best defenders that this league has ever seen.
Okay, I was asking this question pre-match because I wasn't convinced it was Forrest Lasso. A little chip by Pasher to get into the space behind him. It was against Pittsburgh, and the defender had a V as the start of his last name.
Thomas Van Kiesel.
That's him.
Okay,
That's who I was
played
thinking.
for the Rowdies, by the way, last year. Forrest Lasso did not. He was playing in Sweden, but before that he played for the Rowdies, and before that he played for FC Cincinnati and made the move to MLS with FC Cincinnati. Then loaned to Nashville for the conclusion of the 2019 season. But when Lasso has played in this league, he has been one of the toughest obstacles to work around for anybody, anywhere.
He's smart. He's physical. He's got an edge to him.
And he made Lasso cool in soccer long before Jason Sudeikis picked up a Kansas accent.
Brilliant.
Well, Ted was doing commercials for NBC Sports Network before he was doing a show for Apple Television. So someone there for us is like, I had the market cornered on Lasso in soccer.
You got to trademark those things.
Just completely went in the tank.
Sudeikis stole it. Stole the entire franchise.
I think intellectually borrowed is the word you're looking for. By the way, it was Lasso that drew the penalty that it turned into the Aiden Quinn goal to equalize, and these two teams played each other back on March the 11th. Velasquez will soldier on. So we have now seen yellows on both Arman and Lasso so far in this match. Lindley awaiting for the chance to hit the reset button. Now we're set to go. Lindley dropping back, knowing that this is kind of a hodgepodge defensive unit right now for the Indy 11. Crazy to think how consistent the minutes have been for the guys on the forward line and the midfield line.
You asked about what you gain from putting Martinez back as an outside back.
How about that service?
Oh my goodness.
Pino could just knock it on the end of. And then Budati will be whistled for the foul as he nudged Dayon Harris out of the way.
He just sort of snuck. He crept into that space, Was it Maka that delivered that ball? Just a brilliant.
That would be Martinez,
ball.
yep. Maka to Martinez and over to Stefano Pino. And that's what Pino did to the tune of 13 goals a season ago. This is just his third match back with the team after going back home to Brazil to start this year. And after that season came to an end, he said, I want to come back to my second home, which has turned into Indianapolis. Pino the target. Just runs out of real estate. Pino's 13 goals last year, second most in an Indy 11 single season. And Budati going to be called for.
Every time he goes down, too.
You worry about that shoulder, yep. And the Indy 11 may need stronger laces. That's the second player to lose a shoe in the first 20 minutes of the match. Tonight's match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered.
They'll probably go over that. I'd have to. Fellas, check your laces. Anybody need new laces?
That sounds like a very Ted Lasso pointer that would be made at halftime.
Tactics. It's tactics, man. Your shoes are falling off.
Brent was referencing kind of the grimace every time that Boudadi goes to the turf. He dislocated his shoulder 2 minutes into the match against Lou City on May 27th. Return just 2 weeks later. He has been a stalwart in the lineup his last 2 years in Hartford, and obviously this year for the Indy 11. The feeling out process continues between these two teams. Williams deemed to have been onside, but before that there was not a foul, but the ball crossed the touchline. And so a reset coming for the Indy 11 as Macca King will lead the charge from the back for Indy. Well, while that is going on, we want to welcome the president of the USL Super League as well as the W League. It has already been a full day for her because of the W League final that concluded just about 4:45 or so this afternoon. Is it Amanda Vandervort that joins us now as she's counting us in to being a part of the program like it's New Year's Eve. That's a level of anticipation for Amanda joining us on the program. We'll let this play build out, see if Martinez can track it down. He can, finds Guenzati. Guenzati doesn't have an angle. Ball comes back to him, knocks it with the side of his boots. And now Tampa Bay has a moment to breathe, and we can properly welcome Amanda to the broadcast. Hello, how are we doing?
Hey, thanks. I'm great. I'm flying after that W League final earlier today.
I get to interview in two broadcasts in two different locations in the same stadium today. You're kind of joining us at halftime of the women's broadcast, and I know you don't have a rooting interest in terms of Indy winning versus North Carolina. You just want to see a great final. That's absolutely what you saw. Your thoughts about it?
Indeed, end-to-end action, goalkeepers standing on their heads. I mean, we went into extra time, a penalty or a bicycle kick goal to win the whole thing. For Indy 11 today, it was spectacular.
Attendance record set for a women's soccer match in the state of Indiana. 5,412 fans were here to watch. Your thoughts about that number?
Oh, wow. I mean, the fans were electric today. The supporters section, they had a tifo. They were singing and chanting the whole time, but the whole stadium, just the atmosphere in here was unbelievable. The fans have been great all season for Indy 11 and across the W League. So, yeah, it was tremendous.
Well, you take a look at how that game unfolded, and certainly that is going to add more fans. You look at that breakaway save early on for Indy 11, and then the Courage goalkeeper throughout the game was just on fire. When you see that level of performance out here, it's got to make you optimistic about the future.
Yeah, I mean, I love a goalkeeper. You know, the two of them, both goalkeepers for both teams, play at North Carolina. So it was fun to see them kind of going against each other in this match, and yeah, it was great.
Now, yesterday you made a whirlwind tour around Indianapolis with the trophy. Was there a favorite spot? I know you wound up at Metazoa for the watch party last night for the Women's World Cup. Was there a favorite spot in Indy?
I mean, all of Indianapolis was great. Listen, it's a sports town. Everywhere we went, people were cheering on the team and the girls in blue. So
it's a perfect answer. It's a perfect answer.
Yeah, it was fun.
Indy has been a great site for the W League because of the crowds. Of course, the first ever W League match will forever have been played here at Grand Park last year in May. But Indy is making the move from the W League. And hopefully a W League will continue on forever from a franchise standpoint here. But the Super League begins next year, and Indy will play in the Super League as soon as 2025. For viewers that didn't watch the afternoon match, didn't hear our conversation, how are Super League plans coming along?
So we'll launch the Super League, Division I professional women's soccer. We launch next fall, August 2024, and we'll run through the international calendar. So it'll run August until June 2025. We'll be kicking off here in Indianapolis once the Project 11 Park is done, and we've got a 20,000 seat stadium for our players to play in and our fans to cheer in.
Let's stop down right there. Obviously, you have seen the proof, the stadium design. Your thoughts about having teams in your league play in a palace like that one?
Oh, what a shining star. What a shining star Indy 11 is going to be in the championship and in the Super League. We're so excited about this club and about the commitment they've made to the league, to the players, to the fans, and to the city of Indianapolis and the entire state of Indiana.
Absolutely amazing growth in the W League from last year to this year as far as franchise and everything. And you look at attendance also climbing as well. when you look at the Super League starting pretty soon, do you anticipate that same level of growth in the W League, or do you think some of these teams are going to hold back a little bit and then launch with the Super League?
Well, so the W League, when we talk about growth, we went from 44 teams in our first year to 65 in our second year. But in the W League, we build in divisions. So we make sure we have at least 5 teams that are playing in a kind of a region so they can travel between clubs. It helps with player wear and tear. It helps with budgets. It helps with just all the travel. And it creates rivalry for fans in those local markets. Now, the Super League is going to start with a national footprint. We'll have at least 8 teams in our inaugural season and then build from there over the coming years. You know, and what it looks like 5 years from now, I think we'll see what that looks like. You're not going to see the same volume of teams, but you're going to see the highest level of professional women's soccer with the Super League.
Well, I love the thought of the regional stuff. And I played back in the day where you're on a flight out to California, and there's only one team out there. There's nobody. They're on a flight every time that they play a game, and it's just not a financially sustainable model. So I do like what the W League has done in that regional format.
Yeah, I would say across all of our leagues. I don't know if you guys want to talk about this free kick.
Oh, you're fine. If he makes it, we'll talk about it afterwards. You're good. Keep going.
All right. Yeah. Well, in the W League and the Super League, I mean, this is a men's and women's side. We think when we launch a club, we think about immediate viability and long-term sustainability and building a business for the future of the club and making sure that it's the future of the league encompassed within that. So. Yeah, it's a long-term vision and a long-term plan what we build, and we're fortunate to have the benefit of all of these amazing men's clubs.
Velasquez, left foot, what a save made by Sparrow. And now a handball called against Aiden Quinn. So before we let you go, with the W League Season 2 now officially in the past tense for like 3 hours, that's to kind of take a break and actually watch the Women's World Cup as a fan a little bit for these next few weeks?
So I fly out to New Zealand on Monday night. I'm going to be in Wellington for the U.S. Women's National Team playing Netherlands. Yep, on Thursday. I think it's Thursday here, Wednesday night maybe. And then, no, I'm out there for the duration. So I'll be in New Zealand for the group play and then on to Australia for the elimination games. And it'll be my 4th Women's World Cup final in a row.
Real.
That's a pretty good club to be a part of.
Yeah,
what a life.
Thanks for having us be a part of the club of the W League. Congratulations on a wonderful season. It's always great to see you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on. This is awesome, and enjoy the night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amanda Vandervort again from both the W League and the Super League. Again, the Super League launches with 8 teams next August. And again, they will play the FIFA calendar. So from August through May, and again, once the Indy 11 women join the Super League, the way to look at it is this, Indianapolis sports fans: 12 months of soccer a year between the men and the women here in Indianapolis.
How about that?
Because Brad and I need more to do with our lives. Celebrating that. Amanda, thank you very much. Always great to spend time with her, and happy to give her a platform for both the W League and the Super League. And again, I got to talk about the W League, Brad, for 120 minutes this afternoon. You had the rare chance to largely watch the match as a fan. There's other job duties you have with the Indy 11, but what was it like watching that match unfold with Indy claiming the W League championship?
Well, it was a great match. Those are 2 balanced teams, and during little pockets of it, you kept thinking, uh-oh, it's falling this way and it's falling that way, and they just kept fighting back on both sides. And I got to tell you, the goalkeepers were something to watch in that match. It was just an absolute brilliant display.
Back to the action here. Forrest Lasso headed it down, but couldn't keep it on frame. The attack continues now as Harris will get it back from Jake Arbit. Antley has charged forward in the attack for Tampa Bay. Looking back post, Solomon Asante tracks back and gives up the corner. It'll be a corner presented by Wilson Kehoe-Winningham here in minute number 29.
You look at that save by Sparrow a moment ago. A great buildup from Indy into Velasquez. They've got bodies on both sides. He's got a bunch of options, plays it out to Martinez. Just a brilliant buildup from Indy.
So Dalgard will take the corner. Yana Girdle on your screen briefly. His 19th start of the season in Erdl. A relatively easy play for the gentleman that is 8th in the league in saves with 49 coming in. His first year with Indy after spending last year with Hartford Athletic. Martinez draws contact from Dalgard and earns the foul. We're a third of the way through, Brad. Your thoughts about what you're seeing from Indy 11 so far?
like it. You take a look at a couple of the balls that have come across. It's been an early serve that Pino just missed an opportunity on a back post. You saw one on the front post into Guenzati, turned, was able to create an opportunity off of that. So you're starting to see a little bit more dangerous build from the 11 in the attacking third.
Indy last beat Tampa Bay back in 2018. They did not play in 2020 and 2021, which may have not been a bad thing because Tampa Bay won the Eastern Conference both of those years.
What a turn by J.J. Williams.
Dalgard plays it across. Swept to the side by Quinn. Throw in coming that Guillen will quickly take. Tampa Bay won last year here 3-1. Frankly, won somewhat equally handily when the two teams played back in early March at Al Lang Stadium a season ago. Let's thank our friends at the Morales Group. Staffing agencies find jobs. Morales Group, we build futures, and Dalgard down in a heap. You hate to see that. And this is a Rowdies team that has been racked by injuries this year. It's part of why they got to such a slow start. They won just once in their first 7, but you understand what they were dealing with. You know, Sebastian Guenzati kind of elected to move on at the end of last year, knowing he's going to have a bit of a reduced role for the Rowdies. It's because Leo Fernandez made this big jump forward last year. Well, then Leo gets hurt for a season-ending injury right at the end of training camp. And they've been missing, you know, guys like, you know, a Lewis Hilton, who's one of the better midfielders in this league. He's played all of 4 times, you know, this season. So they've gone through their fair share of injuries and players missing this year, yet they just rattled off a streak of 11 consecutive matches without a loss from the end of April to mid-July.
Yeah, that's the incredible part. When you build the franchise that they've built, you know, not just over the last couple of years, but just through their history, you can sustain those. And all of us, as soon as Guenzati came here and Fernandez went down, I think everybody in the league went, uh-oh, what's Tampa Bay going to do? And after, you know, a little bit of a rough start, they went back to being Tampa Bay.
Just a reminder, we talk about the Indy 11 every Saturday morning on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. It is Soccer Saturday. Next week on the show, I am sure we will be joined by Indy 11 Wins head coach Paul Dolinsky, Indy 11 and USL W League Final MVP Aaliyah Martin, who had the game winner in both the semifinal and the championship match. And she dialed it up from her bicycle on the championship winning goal and added extra time earlier today. Plus, we'll talk about the Indy 11 results in this match, as well as Wednesday against Pittsburgh, previewing Louisville. And, oh, yes, there's a Women's World Cup going on as well. Not exactly a lack of things to talk about. And that Messi guy had a nice goal last night, too.
My
All
word.
on Soccer Saturday next week on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You got Messi on Soccer Saturday?
I get Messi, so I spill crumbs a lot of the times when I eat. We have not had Leo on the show, no. We talked about it. Now, hopefully Dalgard is able to continue, but given kind of the lack of weight he is putting on that leg, I think they're going to make a quick move. And looks like Jake LaCava, who we have seen be awfully good for this team in years gone by, will be asked to come on and replace Dalgard immediately. So add another obstacle this Rowdies team has to overcome. But at the same time, the way they have been built, they have as much weaponry on the bench as any team does in the USL Championship. So LaCava was on loan last year from New York Red Bulls. He was selected by St. Louis City in the MLS expansion draft and then traded to Inter Miami. He had played the first few months of this year with Inter Miami 2. He was loaned back to Tampa Bay earlier in the month of June. He has played 6 matches. He has started 4. He has scored twice. And unfortunately, the stretcher is being sent in the direction of Sebastian Dalgard, although they think they're going to be able to help him to the locker room. But as you can tell, that does not look good. I want to send our best thoughts to Dalgard. He's a really solid player. And it's unfortunate that we are done seeing him for the night here in Indianapolis. All of our substitutions, by the way, brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. So Dalgard exits. LaCava will enter. LaCava just 22 years of age. 13 tallies last year for the Rowdies. takes a little bit of the bite out of this
does.
game, at least for a while.
It does. Zidane, they're tough.
King.
Oh, what a ball.
Harris. Budati. Dennis was the target. Job by Velasquez to walk the tightrope. Pino. Connor Antley. Great read. Dennis will be whistled for the foul. Because of some injuries, there's been kind of some fits and starts this game. Really, neither team, I would say, feels really in a great rhythm some 35 minutes in. Mark Lowry talking strategy over with Iose and Gabe Zapponi on the bench. Pino has played 54 minutes in his first 2 games. I would venture to think that Pino maybe 60 to 75 minutes fit at this point. His first start in his return stint to the Indy 11. Sports, this match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana, proud to be Honda's home turf too. Guenzati trying to carve out some space. Now Martinez on in support. Asante with a window. Asante charging forward. Leaves it for Guenzati. Cuts it back for Asante. Just could not get in a position to turn it. Nothing comes of that goal kick for Tampa Bay.
It does feel different though. You start feeling like something's gonna happen. It just feels like it's right on the edge.
Jerome plays it back to Yana Girdle. Mishak had to be brimming with pride seeing the Haitian women's team play in the fashion in which they did this morning in a 1-0 defeat at the hands of England, and that is a foul. Of course, Mishak has represented Haiti numerous times internationally. Draws the foul from J.J. Williams, and Williams offers him the helping hand up. Jerome has largely been a backup this year for the Indy 11 as he is now in his 14th year of playing professionally in the States. But again, because of injuries, cards, etc., he is getting his 6th start of the season tonight. Dennis and Macca King going to battle. Throw in coming here for the Rowdies. Let's thank our friends, the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments.
That was such a clinic in 1v1 defending when you've got the player turned with his back to the field of play. Macca just gave him no room to separate, no room to turn, no room to breathe.
Williams got to head to it. Jerome then skies it. Jerome had nobody else in the vicinity other than Williams around him. We've seen Williams in a couple of different stops. Birmingham a couple of years ago comes to mind for JJ, the former University of Kentucky star. Williams obviously has some things you can't teach at 6'4" and 200 pounds up top. This is not a Tampa Bay squad that lacks for size, that is for sure. Budati out to track Harris. Budati with the win. Let's see how quickly Pino can turn it. Armin hustling back.
Yeah, great recovery by Armin.
Quinn finds Lindley. Lindley finds Quinn. Budati makes the overlapping run, looking back post. Pino!
Oh my goodness.
But he was offside. Even if it counted, it would not have gone. But it's good to know that I've got that 7-second O at the end of his last name that I said so many times last year.
Yeah.
I think it just got more elongated by the goal. Stefano scored 21 goals 6 years ago for Miami FC. His teammate that year, Elio Martinez, on the bench tonight for the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
He is so good in the air. And then he's just got that instinct of knowing where to run, you know, where that spot is going to be.
How about this effort along that left flank? Erdl out quickly. just got there in time.
And who's the guy that's clapping the loudest after that? Tim Trilk. Tim Trilk. All in.
And to explain for those who might not know who Tim Trilk is, Tim is the backup goalkeeper who saw significant minutes last year. The Indy 11 went out and brought in Yannick Ertl, and Ertl has been very good. So much to the point that Trilk has not played a single minute this year. Not an Open Cup, not an USL Championship action, and you would never know it from how he handles himself on the bench during matches. And I would suspect that that same attitude is replicated in training most days.
I would think so. I mean, you take a look at it. He's a starting level keeper. You know, this is he proved it last year.
Ertl, as is his wont, sometimes well away from his own goal, let alone his own 18. Final 5 minutes of the first half are brought to us by Sherwin Williams. Bring couple to life with Sherwin Williams. I don't think that, I mean, there are some question marks because of kind of the finishing touches at time for the, forward 2/3 of the lineup for the Indy 11. The question marks tonight were simply in bodies available along the back. How would you size up how this team has defended so far, Brad?
I think it's been great. I think, it's J.J. Williams that has caused some problems, but outside of that, they've handled everything very, very well.
Pino just somehow got a little bit in front of his skis, seemingly on that one.
It felt like something was going to happen on that play.
It seemed like he kept waiting for a flag to go up that never did. He kept charging forward, but kept kind of looking to the side. The whistle never came. The attack continues now for Solomon Asante. To Martinez. Tampa Bay being a bit judicious in terms of when they press in tonight's game. They would like to give Indy a little more room to operate in terms of along the back line.
Clever.
Nice find for Martinez. He is onside. Martinez plays it across. Pino could not get there at first. Keeper's out. Can Indy get a shot? Ball deflects off of Velasquez. Budati asked for a foul, did not get it. Well done by Kleeman. But Velasquez fights back.
He's had a good game.
Velasquez playing for Mark Lauer in a couple of different stints in El Paso. Was acquired from Memphis a few weeks ago. Well, Indy is starting to dictate the opportunities here. Again, the give and go.
Yeah, and it's coming through Martinez. It's coming through his side.
When Zadi just couldn't get a boot to it.
And you look at that last play. Mishak pulled it back. Looked like he was going to keep it. Got the defender wrong foot and then drove the ball into space for Martinez.
Fans, this reminder, Hyatt Place and Hyatt House, downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. Great crowd on hand tonight. There with the guy that runs the marketing department is doing his job. Wherever that guy is, give him a raise.
Yeah, I think he's a good guy.
A forecast of 82 degrees does not hurt either. And the fact that you could get 2 matches for 1 ticket. 5,400 saw the women's match today. More than that here for the men's game tonight. I would imagine this will be an announced crowd in the 9K or more range. That's wonderful to see for one of the teams that routinely leads the league in attendance here in the championship. Haven't seen that goal yet, but the buildup continues to improve for the Indy 11. Martinez. Velasquez left foot and could not keep it on frame. If you're Coach Dobson, what is your message to your guys at halftime for the Rowdies' perspective?
Well, what's interesting is whenever something's working for the other team, that's the first thing you want to try and shut down. And so the ball that keeps getting out to Martinez, that frees up either that early serve or that ball to allow him to attack the post. There's 2 ways to deal with it. You either got to put somebody a little bit wider out on Martinez and challenge that ball into him, or you got to press a little bit higher up the field and see if you can obstruct that ball that they keep driving into his space.
Because of the injury to Dalgard, I would imagine we're looking at least a couple of minutes of added time. Been a doubleheader for the Brickyard Battalion today, and they have been tremendous as always. They were seemingly somewhat late arriving for the men's match. Perhaps the corn dog eating contest in the parking lot went just a little bit long.
Well, it's not just the corn dog eating contest. The recovery session after
also
is
a fair
so
point.
Important.
The applause from the Rowdies bench. What a job that Neil Collins had done in Tampa Bay. He was the second longest active tenured coach behind Bob Lilly with the Riverhounds when the move was made. Back post, just couldn't keep it on frame. Up and over the crossbar and into the BYB. Herta will offer a helping hand, or just go get a ball and not help at all. As Dennis quickly hops back to his feet. Charlie from Brighton, England. There has always been a strong English tie to this Tampa Bay franchise. Should we call it the Rodney Marsh effect? Dating back to the mid-70s?
Yeah, all the way back.
6 minutes. Dougie Fresh, you're on. That's the amount of stoppage time that we will have before we get to our halftime festivities. Harris sprinting. King reacts properly. And Williams forcing Ertl's hand just a little bit. Good work by Lindley to step up. Nothing comes of it just yet. But frankly, this match has been played on very level footing so far. Here's an opportunity. Good overlapping running, and Ertl quickly pounces on it. There have been only a couple of moments when he has been indecisive this year. Seemingly, he's been punished on both of those when that's happened. So I'd imagine that Yannick may be even more aggressive than we are used to seeing. Kind of had to think about for the last 10 days one that probably should not have gone in against the Charleston Battery. Can't watch the match? Be sure to turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access. Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. You get live matches from the Championship, MLS, English Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. I want to thank the folks at All Access. They allowed us to borrow a couple of minutes of Mike Watts and Devin Kerr talking about Aiden Quinn and kind of his place in the history of this league. And they frankly said, put him in the top 5 players that have ever suited up in the championship. Has a chance to become the first 50-50 man in terms of both goals and assists. He is in the top 10 in terms of matches played, and he's a handful of minutes away from being in the top spot for minutes played. A turnover, a break. Asante looking for Pino. Just tackled away at the last moment by Tampa Bay.
What a great tackle. Perfect ball by Solomon Asante into Martinez. Great ball put across the box for Pino, and just enough in the tackle to disrupt it.
Freddie Kleeman that got there. And we have said this before in saying, you know, hey, everything but, or hey, the passing, the controlling of the game has been good. Just haven't been able to get that finishing touch just yet. I would say this is as good in terms of dictating the chances that we've seen, or creating chances from an Indy 11 team in a while. And again, think of the caliber of opponent they are playing tonight. And it's not like Tampa Bay's coming in on short rest. They played last weekend. This has been good to see from Mark Lowry's squad.
I rarely agree with you, Rakestraw. And this I do.
And by rarely, you mean on days that end in Y, primarily on Saturday.
They have looked energetic, different, and dangerous up top.
Well, speaking of that, here is Douglas Martinez yet again. Now Velasquez at the age of the 18. Lindley, give and go to Sebastian Velasquez. Plenty of time left in stoppage time with 6 extra minutes tacked on. Velasquez weaving his way through traffic, and that will be a corner kick, which as always is brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Velasquez has largely been kind of a somewhat used bench piece since being acquired. But because of the number of players out tonight, he's doing a good job to make the most of his opportunity.
Maybe a fitness thing too. He's fallen out of favor a little bit in Memphis, and every time he's been in, we've seen him a little bit better and a little bit more minutes.
Lindley Hit that one short. Not sure if that was on purpose or not. It's deemed that Quinn touched it last. It will be a goal kick. And again, that is an area for improvement for the Indy 11. Given kind of the talent they have, that is one of the areas where you go. Corners and set pieces should be something they're better at. They've not been this year.
Well, you know, you got Dispay, who's
fair enough.
6'4", 6'5".
Yep, absolutely not playing.
But you also look, you've got Pino and Martinez are phenomenal in the air. Quinn, we've seen it a number of times how well he does.
Good flick forward by J.J. Williams, but Martinez, who has been charging forward, quickly retreats back to his adopted position of right back for the evening. Normally he is the forward on the right flank. And again, honestly, in a Mark Lowry offense, there's a lot of similarities in those two positions. Asante got stepped on. And with that, a restart coming, but we'll make sure that Solo is okay. And we showed you this in terms of the starting lineups brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. But let's point out, Indy have dressed 16 players tonight. They have 4 field players available. One of them is Diego Sanchez, an Academy product. In other words, what I'm saying is if there is an injury or, heaven forbid, another red card shown to the Indy 11, not exactly a lot of options off the bench for Mark Lowry tonight.
He's had to deal with those kind of challenges all season. What options do you have when you're out of backs?
Pino didn't really get there, but did enough to direct that ball back to Budati. And that's it. So an evenly played first half. I think if you're Mark Lowry, Brad, there's lots to feel good about from the opening 45 minutes and change.
Absolutely. Now it's just that one run, that one touch inside the box.
It's a championship afternoon for the Indy 11. We'll tell you more about the women's conquest of the W League that was completed earlier this afternoon. And as always, at halftime, we'll have our look around the USL Championship, news and notes, team of the week, etc. Right now, it is a goalless draw at Carroll Stadium, but the home team against one of the typically best teams in the league is more than holding their own. 0-0 between the 11 and the Rowdies. More action comes your way next on WRTV and ESPN+.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. We're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
Welcome back on what is a gorgeous Saturday night here in downtown Indianapolis. 0-0 between the Indy 11 men and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. For the second time, there was a women's-men's doubleheader at Carroll Stadium today. Last year, it was a great match against Detroit City FC. Today, it was for a championship, and oh, what a match it was. Aaliyah Martin, one-time whip, second-time bicycle, forget the whip. That's the championship-winning goal. That was in the first half of an added 30 minutes as the teams were level at a goal apiece going into the end of the 90th minute. Congratulations to the Indy 11. In the 2-year history of the W League, they have lost twice, and now they are first-time champions.
And I got to tell you, the loss this year was what put them in this position right now. It was almost like everything had been going so great for 2 years, and then you get this little wake-up call. The level of focus after that loss was incredible.
By the way, the yellow cards, Indy 11 didn't pick up 16 of those. Everything else on that list is spot on. And again, you also see how level it is. That was the way the match was played. I thought this one was going to go to penalties, to be honest with you, because there was such a small margin that separated the two teams. All 3 goals in that match were absolutely world class.
And the goalkeeping was phenomenal. And, you know, to score on either one of these goalkeepers today took either a fluky shot or one that was just impossible for a goalkeeper to get.
Last night it was Women's World Cup. Tonight it is W League. On Wednesday night it is back to the Women's World Cup. And the Indy 11 are hosting watch parties at both the Ale Emporium and Metazoa. Those are both Ale Emporium locations in Fishers and Greenwood. And a reminder, when you go to Metazoa, you got to be 21 and over, but you can bring your dog. Hope that helps. Again, U.S. versus Netherlands on Wednesday night, a rematch of the World Cup final from 4 years ago. Following game will be against Portugal on August the 1st. More Halftime Show comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer, WRTV and ESPN+.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Welcome back here to downtown Indianapolis, Carroll Stadium on the campus of IUPUI. It's the Indy 11-0 and the Tampa Bay Rowdies 0. Let's take you around the USL Championship with news and notes and team of the week and important numbers and things like that. Philip Goodrum, you saw the promo for him as FC Tulsa has a big match, part of the summer showcase against the Switchbacks on August the 9th. Man, he has been on fire since making the move from Memphis to Tulsa. Simply put, he's been good wherever he has played in this league.
He has. He's a difference maker right now. Ever since they picked him up, they've just been on this steady climb up the table, and it's largely due to the job that he's done. And, you know, credit to Memphis, too, is that in making that move, they have put together a good squad as well.
Marcus Epps also joining him, representing FC Tulsa, the team of the week. And congratulations, former IU man Trey Muse, who was the goalkeeper of the week, representing the Charleston Battery. Well, we have talked about this with Aiden Quinn. 10 days ago in the last match for the Indy 11, he became the second player to ever hit that 20,000-minute barrier. We can update it 45 more minutes after this first half. So 20,051. He is 7 minutes away from passing Taylor Mueller. But the guys right behind Aiden in terms of Suggs, Roberts, and Forbes can all tap that 20,000-minute mark tonight.
The crazy thing is, too, is it's going to come down to this record is going to be broken midweek on the weekend for the rest of the year with these guys.
Aiden Quinn has played all but 30 minutes so far this year for the Indy 11, one of 4 players that has started all 19 matches so far this year. Elsewhere, in terms of news and notes and tidbits and things around the USL Championship, let's go to the scoreboard. How about this result on Wednesday? That's kind of like a rise from the dead result for Detroit City. Lou City's going through some struggles right now.
They're going through some struggles. Detroit is starting to make a slow climb. You know, with Trevor James, you're going to get something out of him no matter what the lineup looks like, no matter what kind of injuries. And you're starting to see this climb. I tell you what, I got a little bit nervous when I started looking at the points until I realized we got quite a few games in hand on them.
FC Tulsa with another good win last night as they get a little separation between themselves and Indy in terms of the last couple of playoff spots. And there you see, draw the line at the 8th position. But as my partner pointed out, the best news is Indy has 3 games in hand on Detroit City. They've got 4 games in hand on Loudoun. By the way, those 2 teams come back here to play games later in the season. That is the W League Championship. Ursal Ozdemir enjoying taking some pictures, as well he should. We're 0-0 in this one.
When your cat's a me, then your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. It's a crazy world, so what do you do? Tell them more, tell them more, tell them more.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work. It can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Let's get pitch side. Mark Lowry coming up to join us now. Mark, I like what I saw from your team the first 45 minutes. Your thoughts about what you saw? I see you're nodding your head.
No, incredible. Yeah, great 45 minutes. One of the most complete 45 minutes that we've seen this season. Didn't put a foot wrong. Created a ton of chances. They needed to get one of those in. That's all that's missing. Those balls coming across the box. We're getting great bodies in there. We've got to put one in goal. That's all we need to do now.
Knowing you're short on bodies in terms of the bench, how much can guys like Pino, Asante, and Velasquez continue to give you in the second 45?
No, they feel good because the performance was good, so they're positive, they're confident.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Mark Lowry, head coach in the 11. Brad, your thoughts on what Mark had to say?
Exactly what we saw up here. It was just a different feel, different look to this team going forward.
So no changes for either side. Again, the Tampa Bay Rowdies just joining us, unfortunately, had to make an injury substitution. Sebastian Dalgard, that had played in every match this year, suffered an apparent injury about 30 minutes in. Jake LaCava came in to replace him. Cam Lindley awaiting the command to go from referee Greg Dopka. And these two open the season against each other back on March the 11th. The Indy 11 pulled a late point, which is never an easy task down at Al Lang Stadium. And if you happen to be an IndyCar fan, then you are familiar with Al Lang Stadium because the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg goes right around the park every year in March. Lindley is ready. So too is our officiating crew. We thank you for joining us. Our second and final showcase match on WRTV 6. We got that wrong somehow. Now we're good. And on ESPN Plus. Quickly Sparrow over to nab that one. Beautifully floated ball that finds Williams. And all immediately subs will start to loosen up for the Rowdies. And the guy that has my attention is Cal Jennings. With 8 goals in only 11 matches started, and now 20 that the Rowdies have played this year. So he's a guy that can do a lot in a limited amount of time. A lot of other great, talented, kind of experienced players, guys like Jan Ekra, Lucky M. Kosara, Ariel Martinez available on that bench, but Jennings might be the biggest difference maker. In other words, this can be a Rowdies team that can try to play to a stalemate for about 60 minutes and then kind of unleash at the end and try to do a smash and grab for all 3 points at the end. Quinn and Velasquez not on the same page. We'll be tracking the minutes for Aiden Quinn. Once we get to minute number 72, there will be much rejoicing for the all-time minutes played leader in the championship at that point in Aiden Quinn. If you're Tampa Bay, we obviously talk about this from the Indy 11 perspective, Brad, but for Coach Dobson, what, if anything, do you change in half number 2? You're finding a lot of success finding the feet of J.J. Williams and then making runs off of him. So, and he's doing a great job of finding the channel so that you can deliver that ball. He's so active in the right moment. So continue to play with that and just look to be a little bit cleaner off of that ball that he drops back. Sports This Match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. Lasso, like it was an old training run exercise, takes that ball away from Sebastian Guenzati. Teammates for a long time, that pair. Lasso, one of those guys that seemingly has played against the Indy 11 forever. Frankly, that guy was Sebastian Guenzati until this season. It was Stefano Pino until last season. Long distance ball, LaCava trying to track. Good job by Jerome to get in the way of that one. Okay, that leads nicely into my trivia question. Fire away. All right, Tampa Bay Rowdies, Indy 11. What are the players in the history of Indy 11 that have been rostered on both teams? Well, Juan Guerra would immediately come to mind. Nicky Law, Juan Tejada would come to mind. Sebastian Guenzati, Connor Antley, Zach Steinberger. Do you want me to keep going? How am I doing? Keep going. You got more than I did. There's more is what you're telling me? Cal Jennings, technically, was rostered on the, he only ever played a game for the 11. I'm sure there are more that I am forgetting about it. But a sizable amount. Was I required to get a specific number?
No, because, well, in my mind, it was 5 to 6, and I think you just rattled off 8.
So I think 32 is what I named.
Discovered more than I remembered.
In the second ever game in the history of the Indy 11 was played against Tampa Bay Rowdies back on April the 19th of 2014. The Indy 11 and the Tampa Bay Rowdies played to a 1-1 draw for over 10,000 fans that night here at Carroll Stadium. And you made the exact same face that night that you're doing right now. Because if you say it convincingly, people will believe you.
Yeah, but you're right, too. It's not just that you're trying to get me to believe you.
Well, there's that, too. Lindley will play this ball forward to Sebastian Velasquez.
Wow.
Great job to pick the pocket there by Williams. And normally it's the smaller player doing that to the larger one. Williams showing the grace and agility of someone much smaller than his 6'4" and 200-pound frame.
The way he came into that tackle, I thought there was no way he was going to avoid contact.
You thought that Sebastian Velasquez may evaporate.
I thought that might be it for him. Lasso and then Williams, that's a heck of a pair of hits to take.
Yeah, they're the all-airport team, are they not?
I don't understand what that means.
In other words, they look good getting off the plane. Look good getting off the plane. Same. There you go. Coach Dobson looking on, and the interim coach for the Rowdies. Quinn. Jerome and King have been solid as a center back pair for the Indy 11 tonight. Good job to knock that ball forward by Pino. All the way back to Macca King. The sun setting in the west. Quinn plays that to Velasquez. And Martinez will go all the way back to Yannick Erdl. Tonight's match is brought to us apart by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. I just heard Mark Lowry say, move again, Meshach. What are you seeing, Brad?
Right, you want to give that ball, and then once you give it, you need to not stand and watch it. You need to be looking for how you can now open up a lane to get that ball returned to you.
And that's a preview of Tactics Tuesday, available at Indy11.com.
Look at you.
Marketing synergy.
Velasquez is so clever.
Velasquez just behind Pino. But as I look at the roster on the field for the Indy 11, there are 4 players playing now that have been acquired since the start of the season. Douglas Martinez, Velasquez, Jerome has to hustle back. Williams goes the turf, pops back up, tries to cut it back. Jerome does just enough. We'll reset with LaCava. By the way, Velasquez, King, Martinez, Pino round out that group that were not here when the season began.
Well, the athleticism on display from J.J. Williams in that last moment in the box was phenomenal.
Harmon trying to find a window of space. Tonight's one of those matches where you've appreciated the technical skill at which these guys are playing, even if there's not been a tremendous amount of shots on goal opportunities created just yet. Frankly, it sounds a lot like the women's match we saw this afternoon, which didn't see a first goal until the 62nd minute. Asante did just enough to get in the way, but that will be a corner. And is brought to us by our friends at Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Lindley and Antley dap each other up. Those guys were teammates here some 3 years ago. It's Harmon that will head over and take it. New Jersey native, 27 years of age. Harmon getting his 7th start of the year tonight. Curling ball edge of the 6, Mishak Jerome. Clears it back towards Guillen in midfield. Velasquez does just enough to get in the way and kind of take the steam off that header from Charlie Dennis. If you wanted to make an argument for Velasquez being the man of the match so far for the Indy 11, I would jump on that ticket, partner.
Yeah, I've seen some great stuff from Martinez. He's been creating some stuff. I've seen Guenzati nicely done in the box and Pino on the other side of it, but Velasquez has been a difference maker today.
Well, Martinez crumples up a little bit after that contact. Gives us a chance to tell you about one of our favorite beverages, Bomb Water. Refreshing fruit-infused vodka water with 0 carbonation, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and only 90 calories. Mom Water is the perfect game day drink. Found in Indiana, now a proud sponsor of the Indy 11. Please drink and enjoy responsibly. Brad, I have a day off tomorrow, which is a stunning development. There might be some Mom Water in my future at the conclusion of tonight's broadcast.
Are you legally allowed to drink Mom Water? There is Dad Water available. You are a dad.
I have enjoyed Mom Water, though.
Have you tried a Dad Water?
I have not, but I enjoyed the Mom Water.
I think I need to go golfing with you because I've yet to be able to have Mom Water. And that seems to be where you find it.
That may be the top reason to golf with me is Mom Water. That's a fair statement. Lasso. Guillen.
2 clever veteran moves right there. You show like you're going to play a long ball, pull it back, open up another window to keep the ball moving.
Guillen sprinting forward, gets on the end of that one. What a back heel. LaCava could not get there, and then Velasquez hustles out to try to move in the direction he cannot. Harris cuts it back. LaCava, one touch, and then sends this one somewhere towards the JW Marriott.
Yeah, the opportunities have tilted here in this opening 10 minutes of the second half. Grab a little bit of possession, move that ball around, take a little bit of the wind out of Tampa Bay. And if you're Tampa Bay, man, you want to ride this, get one before that game starts to swing back the other way.
Pino the target.
Good night.
Lasso just towers over him. It's like being checked by a sequoia. Here's Doherty. Not spent much time talking about him this evening. The native of Ireland. Harris tries to cut it back, and that is a foul as Jerome went down in front of the 6. So opportunity goes away for the visitors and the Rowdies.
Good accidental build-up there. You've got a ball that's played in, and the Rowdies player's doing everything he can, just trying to get a touch on it. Gets a touch and spins it right into the path of Harris.
Tonight's match brought to us by the Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. Advantage being played. Williams inside of the 18. Williams goes down, and Fred Dopke says no, no, no. Williams goes down in a heap. Not enough in it, says our referee. Goal kick coming for the Indy 11.
He's a handful. He's an easy to find target with this size. He's smart in being a target checking back for the ball. He's got great technical ability in tight spaces for a big guy. We know he's a finisher, and you can see he's got the pace to be able to separate.
Tremendous job by our camera crew to show you. There was a tug of the jersey there by King, and Williams and subsequently went to the ground because of that. But again, I would tend to agree. Little jersey tug, yes. Not for a penalty, no. Pace being picked up just a little bit here by the Rowdies. Because I don't think this is a night where they're looking to pick up one. This is a place they have had some good success over the years. Asante, the target, could not get there in time. Guenzati now finds him. Martinez joins along. Asante sends it in. Quickly steered back out by Lasso. Martinez to Lindley. Quinn wants it at his feet. Lindley goes the opposite direction. Indy looking to be patient here. They'll continue to build. Tampa does not have a loss in this building since a midweek match in August of 2015. Last Indy 11 win against Tampa came at Lucas Oil Stadium. Another midweeker in 2018.
Little cat and mouse with Martinez, Guillen, and Asante. You know, Martinez stays out wide, tries to draw Guillen out. When he does draw Guillen out, Asante sits in that spot.
Asante looking to cross it, and Sparrow did more than get in the way. Native of St. Louis that played both at UMKC and Creighton.
Good ball.
LaCava has Williams to the middle. Martinez sprinting back. LaCava behind him, but now left foot. And Erdl sprays it up and over the bar and appreciates the effort from Macca King to help him out. And frankly, that was the most dangerous moment of the match for the Rowdies for the first 60 minutes.
And we take a look at that recovery run by Martinez. That is so important. Mishak is the sole defender. And if Martinez isn't making that recovery run, Mishak has got to step a little bit more towards the ball and expose opportunities behind him. Because Martinez is making that recovery run right there, Mishak can stay in and jam up the space a little bit centrally.
And you also notice that it was that Mishak was saying, hey, stay out. I'm drifting back. That he recognized that as well. You also see that you can see why Erdl thanked Macca King so vigorously. Ball sent in, and
wow.
Okay, that was the best look for Tampa Bay so far. That just went by the wayside because Lasso, with his size, you can ill afford to give him an unmarked header, which is kind of what he got. That corner kick brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. This is a dangerous Tampa Bay side, that is for sure. Doherty sends it in. And Lasso just couldn't get a boot to the end of it. Quinzotti.
With so many guys that continue to return from Tampa Bay, they've seen every tool in Quinzotti's toolbox on the training pitch.
Lindley has 4 in front of him, plus Asante providing assistance. Plays it to Budati on the left flank. Of course, this match brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. Budati trying to find an outlet and does in Lindley. He will switch the side of the attack in Douglas Martinez, but the speed in which doing so kind of neutralizes the attack here for Indy. Quinn lifts it, couldn't get it through. Right idea.
Yeah, I like the idea. Budati was making the right run for it.
And Quinn, yep, going to get late whistle for the right whistle. That was intentionally enough to draw contact and not a card, just to squelch the opportunity for the Rowdies. This is the 4th and final game of a 4-game set at home for the Indy 11. And they are on the road. Giveaway here by Lasso. Pino to his right, Velasquez to his left. Slides a throw, Pino could not get there, and he touched it last.
Great job by the Rowdies. They cut off the opportunity for Solo to go out to Velasquez, and then just kept shrinking the space for Solo until the decisions were gone.
Indy 11 fans, gather your group of 10 or more for a unique way to experience game day, including our new beer garden experience at Carroll Stadium. Groups receive exclusive on-field opportunities, in-stadium recognitions, up to 35% off regular ticket pricing. To learn more and book your group, visit indy11.com/tickets or call 317-685-1100 and ask for the ticketing department. Brad, when you get kind of into the weeds of things in the heat of battle, so to speak, you may lose track of the bigger picture. How many home games do the Indy 11 have after tonight?
5.
6. Gets here quickly, does it not?
Boy, does it ever. Somebody, I was watching one of the championship shows a forget what game I was watching. They talked about we're 2/3 of the way through the season. And I'm like, no. And I look at the calendar, holy smokes.
Tonight is match number 19 for the Indy 11. It's match 20 for the Rowdies. We play 34 in the league. Indy in the midst of a stretch of 7 consecutive matches. Opportunity here. Pino couldn't get to it. They asked for a handball, won't get it. And again, I would agree, but it will be a corner. Brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Whittingham. So Indy 11 to the corner flag. But to finish the thought, this is the midst of a stretch of 7 consecutive games, all against the 7 teams above the Indy 11 in the Eastern Conference standings.
Well, it's so important to be grabbing points at this point. You see the job that Tulsa's done here, this resurgence in climbing the table, and you see Detroit beating Lou City 2-0 the other day. You know, you're not safe in that 8th spot. It's got to be starting to nick little points away.
Velasquez slides it through. Quinn has a hit. It was the right idea. Just missed it wide right.
As a clever thought, but Sparrow had it read.
Of the 51 career goals for Aiden Quinn, 24 have come from the spot. In his 6 goals, far and away lead the Indy 11. Next closest is Sebastian Guenzati with 3. But Quinn has yet to have one from the run of play this season. He missed one by a couple of inches here.
We spoke about it maybe 5 minutes ago, and the game had tilted towards Tampa Bay, and you know they needed to execute and take advantage of it before it started leaning back, and right now it's tilting the other way. Great ball by Velasquez to open up that opportunity for Quinn.
No foul given. Williams now will distribute. Opportunity at the edge of the 18. Trying to create a window of space, does not get through. Martinez then wins it again. Back to Solomon Asante. And there's Velasquez yet again. Indy felt hard done by the lack of a foul call, but it all worked out in the end for the home side. And now Sparrow kind of in between spots. We'll have time to rotate here. Velasquez might about be out of gas for the Indy 11. And this is by far his longest stint of what's been an abbreviated season for the veteran. Robledo and Molina are available for selection off the bench in terms of those most likely to play tonight, especially from an attacking option standpoint. Sparrow not to thwart any opportunity there. Sports this match brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. Down the right flank, King trailing Armin. Give and go here, but nobody there. And Ertl elects to play it. And speaking of Harrison Robledo, he will be the first Indy 11 substitution of the night. And I would guess Velasquez is the guy he'd be replacing. But I have been wrong before. And Ertl content to kind of step on this for a little bit. Connor Antley. And the ball directed to him. Velasquez was somewhere in the vicinity. And Jerome just got the steps wrong a little bit as Dennis takes a tumble.
Yeah, Dennis did a good job of planting that there was no way that Mishak could slow up in time without drawing the foul.
Charlie Dennis with 6 goals this year. Here's LaCava. Quinn did just enough. Manages to walk the tightrope to maintain balance. Now Budati flying down the left flank. Has Pino in the center of the park. Budati takes a tumble. Again, not enough in it.
Yeah, we saw that here at home. One of the things that Connor had when he played here for Indy was just ridiculous pace. He could get up and down the line from box to box so quickly.
So Robledo has made his way to the 4th official. Gets some last words of encouragement from Ioze. Armin on the front foot. Plays it across. Nice.
Wow.
Had a little flick there, but LaCava was the intended target, and Williams couldn't find him. And Lindley fouled by Williams. So here comes the first substitution. And Velasquez has given everything he's got. He'll exit in the 69th minute. He applauds as well. He should be applauded for what he did tonight. It was a very good showing for Velasquez. And again, on a week where you've got 3 and 8 days, you get 60 minutes here. You hopefully can give another 30 or 45 on Wednesday. Be back at full strength. Another tough match against Louisville. Again, it's tough to play 3 and 8. It's tough to play home to Tampa Bay, at Pittsburgh, and at Louisville anytime. And that's what's coming up for Indy between now and next Saturday. And frankly, it's kind of a gotta-have-it time of the year for the Indy 11.
And if you can get through this one with the 3 games in 8 days, and then you got Dan Brott and Dees payback, there's a little bit of spark that comes back into your training environment.
You're going to unintentionally have some squad rotation this week, whether you wanted to or not, with Dees, Spade, Dan Brott, and you hope Blake all returning on Wednesday, and then we'll see what life is like for Vasquez and Rebillon, who we really have seen a limited amount of over the course of the last 2 months.
When you look at the job Martinez has done and how dangerous we've been going forward with him as a right back, look out.
Necessity is the mother of invention, is it not?
Look out.
Robledo charging forward. Budati plays it to the man on loan from FC Cincinnati. Just 21 years of age. Little back heel flick from Budati. Robledo couldn't get it to Pino. And Lindley couldn't take it away from Williams. Neither could Martinez. Good luck dispossessing him.
How about that buildup? Just give and goes around the box with Robledo.
Williams, does he have a hit from distance? Elects not to, and maybe should have.
Heads up.
Giveaway by Erdl. LaCava able to work through it. Dennis. Armin. Armin dispossessed.
Well defended.
Bad giveaway by Erdl. Then Robledo has it equally taken away. Jennings heads towards the bench. He'll be in this match soon for the Rowdies. We're seconds away from a piece of USL Championship history. So as we officially enter the 72nd minute of the match, congratulations to Aiden Quinn, who is now the all-time leader in minutes played in the history of the USL Championship. Congratulations, Aiden. Tampa Bay is nonplussed by that. They want to score a goal. And Williams, well, hit that one towards the Indiana State Fairgrounds.
That is going to damage a food truck.
State Fair starts in 7 days, Brad. You have 5 favorite State Fair foods you want to share with the audience?
I've never had a fried Snickers, but it is on my bucket list.
I was going to go with the general fried foods and dairy categories.
Yeah.
Usually what fair, fair, F-A-I-R, F-A-R-E, is usually all about. See what I did there?
I did. I didn't see it coming, but I see it now.
So Jennings heads towards the 4th official. Erdl's goal clearance leaves something to be desired. J.J. Williams, who likes it again, without scoring a goal. I thought he was tremendous tonight for Tampa Bay. All of our substitutions brought to his spot. He played with Indiana. And again, let's explain the Cal Jennings story. So he was signed after the COVID season. He played for Memphis that year, scored 9 goals in 14 matches. Signed by the Indy 11, I want to say in like January of that year. Well, before the season started, he was acquired by LAFC. That then turned into a loan to the Las Vegas Lights, where he scored a lot of goals in 2 years, and he has scored a lot of goals since he has joined Tampa Bay. So as a former member of the Indy 11, yet never appeared in an Indy 11 match. Here he is playing at Carroll Stadium and trying to score on his former college teammate in Yannick Erdl.
The question on where the goals are going to come from when Guinzotti and Fernandez are gone, it has been answered.
Right.
Williams and Jennings and Dennis have. Whoa!
I did lose a monitor in that, by the way.
Almost had that. Almost had that.
See, I am amazed at your reaction as a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I was excited. Felt like I was back in the game.
You have had those flying at you for decades. And you kind of panic a little bit.
I didn't even flinch.
You verbally panicked.
No, I was excited. I was back in the game for a moment.
Cut back, stays in play. Select Sport America might owe me a new monitor, by the way. That close call. It's the joy of having the closest broadcast location to the action, potentially in all of professional soccer, but at least here in the USL Championship. Asante by his lonesome. If Wenzati can get it to him, he does.
What a touch.
Now can Asante do something with it? And instead of Sparrow getting to it, Forrest Lasso elected to take care of business. It will be a corner. It is brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
One of the great things when Solo plays out wide right is he has the ability to take you off the dribble, get to the post and slot it across. And he's got the vision and ability to drive that early serve into dangerous spots.
It's Martinez that will, it's actually not a corner, it's a throw in. My apologies. But that was certainly a corner. Apparently it was not. Quinn has a hit.
Wow.
Heads up in the BYB, but Aiden Quinn on a night where he has set the minutes played record in the championship wants a goal to top it off. Couple of good looks for the league legend from Southern California.
You know, we talk often about how do you break a press, and it's that first pass out, and Indy was trying to squeeze that space, just couldn't get it closed down enough in time. The Rowdies were able to find that pass out and then created an opportunity that almost got inside the 18.
Great job by Robledo. It will be a throw-in coming for the Indy 11. I think both teams have an idea about 3 points at this juncture. Frankly, a draw seems like a fair result, kind of given how both have played tonight. I wouldn't say the second half has been as crisp for Indy as the first half was. But again, you are still hanging one of the better sides in the league. Doherty sends it across. Dennis! And the shots have been more plentiful, but from the Indy 11 perspective, have been largely off target for Tampa Bay so far in half number 2.
Yeah, and you got to be careful. You got to be on the right side as a defender there. You cannot let Charlie Dennis get that first touch on that ball inside the 6.
Tonight's match is brought to us by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Here's Pino, and good to see Pino going strong. And he had played 54 minutes in 2 matches. He's sitting on 76 and change tonight. The Sparrow deflects that away from Aiden Quinn. Lindley got nudged. Needs to be called for a handball, and Cam would say, oh, there's a reason I hit that with my hand. I was kind of pushed in the back. Forced him into that contact. Guillen finds Jennings. Jennings leaves it for Harris. Harris plays it wide. Macca King knocks away from his former teammate in Connor Antley.
And just like you saw with J.J. Williams finding that little pocket of space in between the back line and the 6s from Indy 11, he was on 70-minute legs. Cal Jennings is in that spot right now and is bringing a little bit of electricity to it. And a little bit different style, too. You know, J.J. was playing more of a hold-up target, waiting for runs to come off of him. Cal's looking to turn that ball.
Dennis steers it in. Jerome. Now the blast from LaCava.
Wow.
And Ertl with the tremendous work. Both these keepers sitting on 5 clean sheets for the season. Right now in line for a potential 6th. Asante will try to fix that. Martinez makes the overlapping run. Gets the ball on time and on target from Asante.
Oh, heavy touch.
Now, Robledo just couldn't keep it, but Quinn will do exactly that. Here's Boudadi.
Yeah, you love seeing the pace of Martinez in that last overlapping run as he just sensed there's something building here.
Nothing in it as Lindley takes a tumble. But then the distribution shanked by Tampa Bay. So as Indy elects to kind of build from the back, let's thank our friends at Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Quinzotti like to get one against his former club. Martinez draws the whistle.
Great second touch. First to bring LaCava into space, and then the second touch just to lift it.
Are Martinez's days as a forward done as he a right back going forward?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. He's done the work defensively, and you know, he finds himself hiding. Like right now, it's just kind of, you know, LaCava keeps checking his shoulder for him. Guillen keeps checking his shoulder.
Pino deflected away. It was Kleeman. Quinn applying pressure on Doherty. Of course, this match is brought to us by Keystone, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investment. This has been a match where few substitutions have been used. That's about to change for the Rowdies. Jennings plays it across, takes a touch. Good job by Robledo just to knock it back towards the edge of the 18.
With the suspensions and injuries that Indy has, in how snake bit you've been early parts of matches with either, you know, cards or injuries, getting to the 80th minute when you've got 16 on the roster today is a win.
Well, that last substitution is going to be Jan Ekra, and it will be the last because there are only, you know, 3 substitution windows you can have in a match. Well, the Rowdies had to burn one early because of the injury. That was picked up by Sebastian Dalgard. So Jan Ekra appears to be the 3rd and final substitution going into this match. Simultaneously, Callum Chapman-Page is in uniform and about to head towards the 4th official. Roberto Molina will do the same. Ball knocked forward for LaCava. LaCava cuts it back from Martinez, plays it across, but plays it right to Aiden Quinn, who is not currently his teammate. Solomon Asante now will try to hold things up for Indy, but possession short-lived for the home side.
I love to see them together because I think it gives you such an edge to how you defend, but Macca looks like he's just gassed right now.
Flag goes up. Lindley has a seat. And if it's Macca King that is exiting, that would explain the entrance by Callum Chapman-Page. McGowan Insurance is a proud partner of the Indy 11. Visit McGowan, INSGRP.com for all your insurance needs. Josh Frankham heads out to check on Cam Lindley. We'll have a substitution brought to us by Chief Luke of Indiana. The player that will be exiting will be Deon Harris, as Akra will replace him. And while the all-time leader in minutes played in this league is now Aiden Quinn, The man that's about to enter this match is the player that Aiden and others are chasing in terms of all-time appearances. Jan Ekra, when he enters this match, will be playing in his 264th game in the USL Championship, the all-time leader. Ekra, this is his 5th year at the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Much like Brad Hodder, a former indoor soccer player.
Think about the roster they've assembled with M. Kosana, Lasso, Ekra, Martinez. And those are long careers.
Well, the Fountain of Youth was in Florida, right?
I don't know. I don't know where it was. I've always thought it was not real, right?
Metaphorical. We need to have a sponsor for Brad's continuing education on the broadcast.
I know what a metaphor is, I think.
Let's thank our friends at Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered. Lindley will be waved back on in just a little bit. Newland will play a man down temporarily. And at the next stoppage in play, Callum Chapman-Page will be waved on. Molina has gone back to loosening up, so he's got the full kit on, but he will not be entering the match just yet. Lindley told to rejoin the fray. Indy steal one late. They have won just one time in this building this year. That was over 2 months ago.
Great ball.
Asante gets behind Guillen. Asante to the right side. Cuts it back, but that was the time for the cross and not the shot, and it was the latter that happened.
Such a great ball by Mishak. It just held up on the turf, and Solo was not able to run onto it.
Here's Jennings with Jerome in tow. Jennings cuts his way across. Jennings! I think Ertl has known Cal for a long time. Kind of knew what was coming there from the former teammate of his at the University of Central Florida. We've talked about Velasquez, how well he played tonight. Let's also give a tip of the cap to Mishak Jerome. This is as well as we have seen him play this year.
I have it right there. I think this is the best we've seen of him.
So you agree with me more than you let on. I realize there's a stigma attached with that.
I'm starting to realize that. And after 10 years.
This is the part where the more you know, the star streaks across the sky. Ekra. To Dennis. And there are certainly still 3 points for the taking, and Lindley will offer his hand after a tame foul, but a foul nonetheless. Doherty. Kleeman. Just kind of sinking back and sinking back, trying to clog up the arteries here for the Rowdies offense. Ekra. Looking back post, Martinez just chests it down to Ertl, and again, there was a lot of activity around the 18, but nobody close to the 6 for the Rowdies.
This has been a great defensive performance from Indy. One we haven't seen. There's just not been the consistency of knowing who's going to be in what spot. And guys keep stepping up. Jack Blake did his time outside right back. Martinez. Dudati has played right side, left side. Molina, his first game, came in as an outside back.
Quinn will steer that back to Yannick Ertl. Tonight's match was evident in part by your Central Indiana Honda dealer. Central Indiana, proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. Well, there have been 0-0 draws between these two teams in years gone by. Indy trying to avoid that with a late flurry here. Robledo, Asante. Martinez again hits the gas pedal. Instead, they go the opposite way, and some contact there, not enough in it. As Guenzati went to the turf, and now Jennings. Dennis. Dennis knocks it off of Meshach Jerome, and Jerome continues his solid effort tonight by taking that off the boot of Lacaba. Because the fact there's been kind of limited substitutions, I'm not sure how much the way of stoppage time we're looking at the end of this one. Throw in coming here. Callum Chapman-Page about to make his Indy 11 debut, and he will go a little more defensive-minded. They will pull Stefano Pino, and Pino, maybe a non-factor in half number 2, but made his typical back post runs in half number 1. To me, the story is that Steph just played 89 minutes in his 3rd match of the year. And that's good news for Indy.
Even though he's probably not fully 90 ready, he didn't lose any pace here in his last 10 to 15 minutes.
Chapman-Page makes his Indy 11 debut. One more substitution if needed for the Indy 11. Literally just 3 players to choose from of that group. One more substitution window, I should say. Diego Sanchez, Tim Trilk, and Roberto Molina are those players available in case needed, as we are approaching the closing minutes of this one. Asante.
Great switch.
As Macca King to his right and finds him here. Lindley. Asante, Martinez. Martinez finds a seam. Can he get a boot to the ball? He goes down, he gets back up, leaves it for Asante. Guenzati back post. If Asante can find him, he tried, he failed.
Oh, that ball into Martinez straight down Route 1. You just thought, just get a touch, get a little separation.
4 minutes of stoppage time will be added tonight. For the run by Dennis. Meshach Jerome gotten away, and Ertl could do nothing about it. It will be a corner brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
Yeah, this point in the game, everybody's got some heavy legs. You can see Budati, you can see Cam yelling it. Everybody just find that little bit more focus, that little extra in the tank. You got to be dialed in on this.
It's arm in the heads of the corner flag. You're in point prevention mode at this juncture if you're in the Indy 11.
You got Guenzati on Lasso back post.
Ball looking back post, it goes through, and no touch by the Indy 11.
That is twice
corner coming.
The ball has fallen to Lasso's feet on the backside, just wasn't able to get a nick of it.
Well, fans, coming up on August the 9th, it is the 2nd installment of the USL's Summer Showcase. Philip Goodrum, FC Tulsa, and to the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs to face Romario Williams. It's FC Tulsa at the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs. It is Wednesday, August 9th at 9 o'clock on ESPN2. There are certain teams on your schedule that if you simply pull a point against them, you feel good about it. The Rowdies are one of those teams. The 2 teams shared the points back on March the 11th. Right now they're in line to do the same.
You look at the substitution with Chapman-Page, so in that he goes into the center back. They put Macca King out right. They put Martinez back up top, and you know, since he was able to sit home a little bit more in that defensive role and pick and choose when to go, he doesn't have as tired of legs as he would normally if he was playing up front and playing out wide at this point in the match.
Dennis. Looking back post, LaCava. Steers it wide.
Yeah, I think if he leaves that and dummies it, it's right into Antley's feet.
Maybe one more push forward left for the Indy 11. A beautiful night. Fans have seen a very competitive match, but as the match has continued on, they have not seen a great amount of threatening moments on goal. Indy had their chances largely in half number one. Hurdle takes no chances with that one and knocks it towards the locker room. These two are to see each other again this year. It would be in a playoff matchup. And that is certainly a possibility, kind of the general seeds where these teams are kind of appearing. Where the Rowdies could be playing for the top spot in the East, and Indy just trying to make sure they're in that top 8 and make the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. Ekra trying to steal one late. Ekra with a run going, have a hit!
Wow.
And Erdl has to spray it.
What a shot. What a save.
And that'll be a foul against Jennings. And that may just do it. Yep, that's it, and that's all. Well, the points are shared tonight. A 0-0 draw. And again, while it may look like another night without a win for the Indy 11, I'll repeat what I said 2 minutes ago. You play Tampa, you get a point, you feel good about it.
Yeah, and you look at it too. It's not like you came out with the standard 11 you've been rolling out. You got Martinez starting as an outside right back. You're patching and filling. You only got 16 on the bench, and the opportunities you created, that was a fun game to watch.
You know you have Deespay and Dambrot coming back on Wednesday. You hope you have Blake and maybe more, but there is something to be said from how you play tonight from the Indy 11 perspective, and now you know it gets no easier, as I think you unquestionably play the team that's playing the best brand of soccer in the East right now. They're always difficult, but they're really playing well, the Pittsburgh River Hounds.
Yeah, you get the same thing every time you head into Pittsburgh. It doesn't matter who the players are. As long as Bob Lilly's still there, you're going to get this just meat grinder of an environment where it's so difficult to get goals.
The man you are seeing is now the all-time leader in minutes played in the history of the USL Championship, Aiden Quinn. He has played 20,096 minutes. And that is our stat of the game, brought to us by Sports Tech HQ. Well, stay tuned. Post-game coverage will be coming your way. We are planning having a conversation with head coach Mark Lowry and the starting goalkeeper in Yannick Ertel of the Indy 11, and talking about a well-earned point tonight. Calvin Chapman-Page had no practices with the Indy 11 and made his debut as of this evening in late minutes. More might be asked on Wednesday in Pittsburgh. No goals, a pair of points split. Indy 11 and Tampa Bay play to a goalless draw in Indy tonight.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying. Let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me.
Post-game coverage now underway on WRTV and ESPN Plus. Again, a 0-0 draw. Do not mistake tonight for a lack of activity. There wasn't a great amount of shots on target for either team. Just two evenly matched teams tonight. And again, Indy just hung with a definite playoff team, playing into a 0-0 stalemate. I think there's a lot more good than bad tonight for your Indy 11 head coach, Mark Lowry.
Right. When you look at it, too, how effective you were in manipulating the right side with Martinez playing up, playing back, playing in the middle, finding him, and then creating opportunities off that. That gives you a lot of hope for the future because, as you mentioned, it was against a good side.
So, again, we joke about this, but it may not exactly be a joke. Is Martinez a forward or a right back from this juncture on? For the end, we'll figure that out as days go by. A look at the highlights, and again, you just notice a little bit different in the steps of the Indy 11 in the opening moments of the match.
Yeah, aggressive and attacking minded out wide, and then also being able to find players in and around the box to get a touch or at least have an opportunity inside the 18.
I think there's also something too when Solomon Asante has become kind of the first option off the bench, again because of the numbers he starts tonight, and I think there was something about his offensive spark that was a factor tonight for Indy as well.
Yeah, he's so respected in the league that you have to give him a little bit of space. And when you give him space, he's got the ability to hit the early serve or try and take it down the line, get to that front post, and then slot the ball back.
There is no Indy 11 player you would point to and say, hey, he didn't exactly have a great effort tonight, but there are guys that certainly deserve some extra commendation. We've talked about Velasquez, we talked about Mishak Jerome, but let's also mention Yannick Erdl. He was awfully good tonight for the Indy 11 too.
Couple of great saves, both to his left, to his right, some inside the box, a couple ones that were stung from outside, that one from Ekra late in the match.
Why are we showing Aiden Quinn jogging? Well, that was because in the 72nd minute he played all 90 tonight, as he has pretty much every night for the Indy 11 this season. But at minute number 72 is when he became the all-time leader in minutes played in the history of the USL Championship. You see Yannick Erdl's handiwork, and then kind of the last great chance for the Indy 11 in this match.
Yeah, you're kind of holding your breath on that. You're thinking, okay, here it is. Here's that one moment that's going to turn this.
But it wasn't meant to be for the Indy 11 tonight again. Played well. Yes, you can still say there is, lack of goals in the run of play. The 3 goals in these 4 home matches all been from the spot for Aiden Quinn, so you're still trying to create some more offense. So yes, that problem still exists. But again, look at the numbers, and again, just how remarkably even they were tonight. Right. Indy outpossesses Tampa Bay 59-41. Find a way to kind of fix that finishing third, take the rest of this and bottle it up. And this will be a playoff team in Indianapolis this year.
Yeah, and you look, 11 shots, 2 on target. That doesn't count those balls that slid through the 6 that Pino just missed on the backside. Those were great attacking opportunities that don't show up on this stat chart.
All right, so stay tuned. We hope to have a word from both head coach Mark Lowry and starting goalkeeper Yannick Erdl at some point in time in our post-game show. We've also got a women's championship from earlier today to talk about as well. All that and more when the post-game show continues next.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.